Let's talk about War Horde combos. Let's say you're a bit new and you want to know a couple of staples. You don't want to be overwhelmed. You're starting to build lists and you want to know what you have on there, right? You have for the combos, I try to keep it simple as some of my favorites, but the ones that you'll pretty much see on the vast majority of lists. So you have a beast boss on foot with 10 beast snagga boys and a truck. The enhancement options here that are my favorite would be cunning but brutal. You can make an argument for Ed Wappa's Kill Choppa. You can make an argument for Follow Me Lads. I think Follow Me Lads ends up being on other valuable units, but if you're playing a smaller game, maybe you just want to put it on there. The most valuable stratagem here that you're most commonly going to always have in your back pocket when your Beast Boss and Beast Snagga Boy combo is going off is Unbridled Carnage. Let me explain. Now, you read the data sheet on the Beast Snagga Boys, and it says they get to reroll hits against vehicles or monsters. You look at that and you think it's kind of dumb considering they're almost always winning them on 5s and 6s. Why the heck is this a good rule? It's a good rule because it coincides very well with the Beast Boss on foot. Now, the Beast Boss on foot is giving the Snaggas +1 to hit. He himself is sitting on 2s natively. Then he'll give himself another +1 to hit. Feels really good. Therefore, he will land his hits on 2s, but when you pop Unbridled Carnage, he'll get sustained 5s and 6s. Now, the wording of the Snagga Boys does not say reroll failed hit rolls. It says reroll the hit roll. Meaning what's statistically better for you to do on average is to pick up anything that's not a 5 or 6 when the Beast Boss is going, right? When he's starting to hit on his own. You are going to use his 7 attack profile. So a 6 + 1 on the wall, but we'll say a 6 profile. More of his sweep, right? Because you want more volume attacks to get his dev wounds on, which are the other part of his data sheet ability. So when you're rolling out his 7 attacks, let's say you get 1 or 2 5s and 6s, you're going to pick up the other 5 or 4 dice and you're going to roll those again. In this way, you're fishing for more 5s and 6s. That way you can end up spiking and getting up to maybe 10 hits on your actual Beast Boss on foot. Then when you go to roll and you go for wounds, on average, that could be 10 dev wounds right there just from the Beast Boss on himself going into an enemy vehicle type unit. Very, very valuable. Not over the top complicated, but can be slept on if you're a newer player. Makes that unit punch way above its pay grade, demolishing greater demons, demolishing vehicles. That's how you use that strat. Next is Death Killer War Trike. You can, or War Boss and Mega Armor. Now, if you're running Death Killer War Trike, I think 3 bikers is totally fine. Sometimes people go to 6. I think 6 is a bit too big of a profile. Just go ahead and 3. You need to really think of ablative wounds, meaning the splitting of wounds here was what makes this durable. All right. The fact that some of them, 2 of those models have 3 wounds, the other one has 4, means you can split this kind of damage between what profiles you're getting to try to keep more of those dudes alive or waste some of the enemy's damage points. And then it goes onto the trike and he's taking his Feel No Pain. A lot of the time, you'll lose all 3 of those biker kit models, but you'll leave the trike alive. Why it's important to have the bikers is because you don't want the trike taking straight meltas or las cannons to the face, right? You want to waste some heavy bolters and other things like that. Not to mention, it's great for Ard as Nails. That's a great unit for just popping Ard as Nails and actually using this combo to head either towards the enemy's natural expansion objective, right? If you want to pressure an enemy's objective because you can auto advance 6, let them know I can come take this. If you put a transport here, I'll simply tag it. My trike has 3 OC. Very, very good. But if you have something on, let's say Zodrod on your list, maybe Zod wants to go to the natural expansion. If they don't have volume of attacks, they're more value attacks. You might use that to go to your home field objective, your natural expansive objective, screen your backfield a little bit by swinging the bikers out. You could take advantage of his big base in that way. Now you pivot with him. You can kind of make up some of his movement too. On the flip side, you have the War Boss and Mega Armor solo with Super Cyborg Body, and you could pop Hard as Nails on him. All right, he's sitting at T6 with 7 wounds, extremely valuable, durable for what he is. He does lack volume of attack, therefore he could get bogged down by little chaff units. He's good at either coming in and scoring a secondary, since some of them need you to stay alive, harassing an enemy objective, or just trying to drop into the enemy backfield, knowing him that he's there, and then having him run around later and do objectives. He doesn't even necessarily have to fight. He just has to be super hard to kill and score you secondary points. Now we move to a funny, more niche combo, yet mixed in with a very, very powerful combo. We have the War Boss and or Big Mech, right? That means if you're taking a 20-man unit of boys, you can take 2 characters. That one would be the War Boss, one would be also the Big Mech. Of course, you can use other things, but this is a combo I want to talk about today. You can either take a simple War Boss with 10 knobs, power claws, and a truck, Follow Me Lads as the basic enhancement, and be ready to either use Here We Go on that unit or Unbridled Carnage. Keep in mind, if the unit is within the truck, you cannot use Here We Go on that unit. That means you need to disembark them prior to popping Here We Go to stage them. That way you can take the max potential out of them. But for the most part, if you move them and then you simply do a simple disembark on your following turn, advance and charge, and you have your follow me lads already, you can cover a lot of distance and really hit something that's valuable. Of course, Unbridled Carnage is very vital for this unit if you get it going too. Or if you want to be a cheeky buzzard and you want to use a 20-man unit and you have a Big Mech in this unit, the Big Mech allows you to move through people's units. Let's say you want to use just a simple knob Big Mech. What you can do is follow me lads that unit. Here we go that as well. And now you actually can walk through screens with this unit. Very uncommon ability and combination that's used, but for anybody that maybe bought the Stomper Box or has this model, you want to use it, I thought it's fun to kick it in, right? Orks are having a great time in Nexus. You might as well know some of the fun combos and off the wall combos too, that I think can actually come to pay out, right? People like to use screens. If you can run through them and just straight up hit their soft juicy bits, that could be really good. Squink to your guard matchups. All right, then today's sponsor, Baron of Dice. So Baron of Dice has great dice. They have actually enabled us to give these dice out for our paint competitions. So I greatly advise that you go out there. We have a link in the description for 5% discount. That's of course because nobody likes taxes. Shout out to Baron of Dice because they are actually customizing Ork dice just for us that you guys will be able to get a hold of, and they look exceptional. So shout out to Baron of Dice. Really appreciate you guys, and I really do suggest you get them. I love the actual texture these dice have. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Another combo that isn't innate just to War Horde, but is very, very good in War Horde are SWAT teams. Now, SWAT team is more a concept than a basic combo, but what the concept of a SWAT team is you take two different units that are about 5-man size, and they can take a leader, and you put them in a truck, right? Very kind of straightforward in that way. One example of a proper SWAT team would be 5 knobs with power claws, a war boss, and then you stick 5 flash kits into that truck. Therefore, there's 11 models in that truck, and they're 2 different units. That way, one can clear chaff, the other can clear elite power armor, whatever it may be. SWAT teams are very valuable for War Horde because you get a lot of units in War Horde. Trucks are always kind of put the pressure forward, and it allows you to get into skirmishes and even valuable fight trades when you have just a simple truck that can hide these 10 models, flash kits having huge bases, yet get out and get engaged and getting stuck in fights and leave the truck behind to do secondaries or to tag something that doesn't want to be tagged. Last but certainly not least is Ghazghul. Some people might pay for the big brick. I think it's a little too expensive now. Go ahead and either stick 2 models with them or 3. What's very important about Gaz in this detachment is his aura of lethal. Now, that aura innately combos with Unbridled Carnage because it's a critical 5, meaning on the wall turn, you can pick one of your units. It could be a Beast Snaggerboy unit, a Knob unit, whatever it may be, and that unit is now getting sustain and lethal from Unbridled Carnage on the wall turn. Therefore, Gas is giving a unit a substantial ability to punch up. Something like Knobs can punch up into something that has even a 4-up invuln and great durability. Beast Snaggerboys can fish for lethal wounds against something like a Catan, where you run in there, you're hitting on 2s, fishing for 5s and 6s. That way you can put mass damage of damage 1 into Catans and make them take a bucket load of saves instead of simply having all your damage 2 from maybe a Knob unit, for example. As well as Gaz himself gives his own unit 5 lethal sustain. That means his sweep attack goes crazy, and the Mega Knobs he's with can end up going crazy as well. Units that really appreciate that aura of lethals are Boys, Snaggas, Knobs, and Squigs. Very, very valuable in that case. Good way to take advantage and really throttle on that WAAAGH turn. Some people might think it's too much. Not necessarily. When WAAAGH is your only army-wide ability turn for one turn of the game, it really needs to swing that battle, and War Horde really assures that swing in battle. If you enjoyed the clip, check out the full video here. If you'd like to see more tactics, click here.
Let's get stuck in, lads!